Hello and welcome to e-GMAT. We will solve question number 53 of OG Verbal second edition by using e-GMAT three-step process. In the first step, we will understand the meaning of the sentence. In the second, we will evaluate the errors in the sentence, and finally, we will review all the answer choices to get to the correct answer. So let's begin. The normative model of strategic decision-making suggests that executives examine a firm's external environment and internal conditions, and in using the set of objective criteria they derive from these analysis, can decide on a strategy. Now, the way this sentence has been written, the meaning is not very clear here. So we will first infer the intended logical meaning of the sentence. This sentence talks about the working of the normative model of strategic decision-making. Per this model, the executives examine a firm's external as well as internal conditions. They derive certain set of objective criteria from these analyses, and using this set, they can then decide on a strategy. Now, it appears that per the normative model, the executives do two main things: examine the conditions and decide the strategy based on the detailed analysis. Now, let us evaluate the errors by splitting this sentence into its clauses. So here comes the first clause. The normative model of strategic decision making suggests. Here, normative model of strategic decision making is the subject and suggests is the verb. Now, strategic decision making cannot be the subject in this clause because it lies in the prepositional phrase that is a modifier, and it modifies normative model. Now, normative model being the head of this phrase decides the number of the verb. Since normative model is singular, the verb suggests is also singular here. Presence of that brings us to another clause that reads that executives examine a firm's external environment and internal conditions, and here executives is the subject and examine is the verb. After and, we have a subject verb pair, which means we have a clause here, and it reads, in using the set of objective criteria they derive from these analysis, can decide on a strategy. Here they is the subject and derive is the verb. Well, can decide is also a verb which does not have a subject, so we have a subject verb error here in this sentence. Also, this sentence is not written in a concise enough manner as we discussed in the meaning analysis. Ideally, both examine and decide should be part of the list that denotes what the executives do per the model. But this is not evident from the structure, and hence we have parallelism issue in this sentence. Also, preposition in appears to be incorrect. It should be either by using, or there should not be any preposition at all. What we want to communicate is how the executives decide on a strategy: by using or simply using. So this in leads to the idiom error in this sentence. Well, these are the errors here, and let's run the POV to find out what's the correct answer. Well, choice A is wrong as we discussed just now. In choice B, we have this phrase in deciding, which is not correct. What's the purpose of using the set of objective criteria? It is to decide strategy, so the purpose of the action must be expressed in infinitive to verb form. Hence, it makes in deciding incorrect here. Also, this choice distorts the intended meaning of the sentence. Now, per the original sentence, the normative model suggests that executives examine and they decide. But as per this choice, the list is now normative model suggests that executives examine and they use the set of objective criteria, which is certainly not the intended meaning. So these errors make choice B incorrect. Let's take a look at choice C. Well, choice C is also not correct. Since the word and is used here, it implies that there is a list. Well, we know that there should be a list of verbs here, but notice that deciding is not a verb. It is a verb, ing word, which appears to be hanging in the sentence without any proper role. Now, in order to make it parallel to examine, it must be turned into the verb decide. Also, preposition in appears to be incorrect here. It should be either by using, or there should not be any preposition, as we discussed during the error analysis. So these errors make choice C incorrect. Let's take a look at choice D. Well, choice D is the correct answer because now the list is correct as per the intended meaning. In has been removed and decide is a verb that has a subject and it is also parallel to examine. So choice D is the correct answer. Let's find out why choice E is not the correct answer. Well, it has the same error as in B. The structure of the sentence here distorts the meaning of the sentence. Also, only and has been used to connect two independent clauses, which is not correct. We should have comma plus and to connect two independent clauses. So, as we found out, choice D is the correct answer for this sentence. This brings us to the takeaway messages now. In the list pertaining to the parallelism, all the entities must be logically as well as grammatically parallel. We must be wary of choices that distort the intended meaning of the sentence. All the modifiers in the sentence must be correctly worded to convey the intended meaning of the sentence most clearly, and two independent clauses must be connected using appropriate punctuation and conjunctions. Now, the concepts tested in this sentence have been covered in e-GMAT concepts level 1, parallelism, identify and correct, parallelism, helpful tips, and level 1, sentence structure.